Rostic, the weatherman, and I'm here to give you the Spring Outlook 2012. So, let's first start off in the south. And the south is going to be pretty much warm for the next few months. And also, we are going to have an early severe weather season as well, because it's already been rather warm with temperatures in the 60s and 70s for pretty much all of winter. The South really didn't see a winter this year, unfortunately. But nevertheless, severe weather season will probably start off probably in the beginning to middle of March, so about a little earlier than expected. With that, tornado season is also supposed to be above average. They're saying that it could be as bad as last year. Hopefully it's not, because last year was pretty much just devastating. So hopefully we don't have a repeat of that this year. Nevertheless, however, because it will be warm, because it's already warm and it's going to stay pretty much mild, severe weather season obviously can start earlier, and so we're going to have more spring-like thunderstorms in the south toward the end of this month, February, going into March, and then obviously building up to the climax month in April and May. So that's pretty much what you can expect weather-wise in the south. The exception really could be just Florida. Florida, I think, is going to stay mainly dry. Unfortunately, they've been dry for most of the winter, and I don't think a lot of rain is going to be coming into Florida for much of the spring months. But the rest of the southern plains over into the Carolinas are going to see pretty warm and active spring this year. Temperatures, like I said, average to above average, are going to stay pretty much on for the remainder of the spring from March into May. Now, going into the northeast, spring also looks like it's going to be arriving a bit early, toward the end of February, early March, around DC, Baltimore. We could have a couple days of 70-degree plus coming into those areas, and then eventually warming up in other cities as we move into, obviously, April and May. Severe weather, obviously, typical months for severe weather in the Northeast are usually during the summer months. We could have a couple severe storms, severe weather systems move across the area, like the Ohio Valley coming into the mid-Atlantic. Not a whole lot in terms of severe weather. That will mainly stay in the southern states for the spring. Temperature-wise, above to near average temperatures. We could, however, see cooler than normal temperatures coming into the month of May, especially across northern New England. We could have a cool flow coming down from Canada, that's why. But pretty much everyone else is going to see really nice spring-like conditions coming into the next couple weeks, end of February, like I said, and just lasting throughout March, April, and pretty much May. Snow for the Northeast, not a whole lot is going to happen in terms of snow. We are having a system coming in over President's Day weekend this weekend, and that's going to bring snow to the Appalachians and Mid-Atlantic. That'll be gone. Temperatures are going to warm right back up into the 50s and 60s pretty much the end of the following week. So that stuff's pretty much going to melt. Not really doing a whole good next weekend for ski resorts. This weekend, it'll be good for ski resorts if you're planning to do any skiing in the Appalachians President's Day weekend. However, the rest of the ski resorts been pretty mild. I think it's been okay business for most of the resorts, but unfortunately with the milder temperatures coming in a bit sooner than expected, they could be suffering for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Now, going into the Midwest, it looks like that winter is going to be holding on for probably about another month or so. The reason why I go winter, like quotes or whatever these things are, winter, it's because temperatures have been in the 30s and 40s for highs, and that's not really that cold for the Midwest. So winter conditions, 30s and 40s, are going to pretty much be pretty much remain in place for, especially the upper Midwest near the Canadian border, for the remainder of February and March. And then obviously going into March, April, May, it will get warmer as well. So temperature-wise, it's going to be around average, maybe a little above average, going into March and April for temperatures. Unfortunately, precipitation like snow, not a whole lot of snow. Unfortunately for farming this spring, because there's not a lot of snow cover on the ground, the soil's not going to be as moist, so farming's not going to get off to a really good start unless we get a couple more storms and have a good snowpack before temperatures start warming up and drying out the soil, because that's what having no snow does pretty much to the soil. It dries it up, and obviously if you don't have any moisture in the soil, it's hard to grow crops. So that's one of the big problems right now in the Dakotas and pretty much like Nebraska and Kansas for farming purposes. So unfortunately, the Midwest, a little shaky for spring, but eventually I think it will get better and stuff. Temperatures and precipitation, especially coming into April and May, more precipitation for the Midwest. The rest of the country in the West, typical kind of just onshore flow in the Pacific Northwest with about average conditions. Snow coming in as well, not a whole lot, but good amounts, so ski resorts should stay open for the remainder of their season through like March and April. Desert Southwest and over into California and the Rockies, a bit cooler and rainier than expected for the next few months. So yeah. Yeah, don't really know what else to say about that. Just I know it's supposed to be cooler and a bit wetter than normal for those areas. So pretty much overall, the country is going to be about average temperatures to above average going into the later part of the, February and going into March. Earlier severe season down in the south, and then just staying a bit cooler in the west until probably about May or so for this spring. So no, I don't think it's going to be a bad spring, but we've had like no winter, so it already is kind of like spring anyways. So, but anyways, so that's pretty much it for the entire spring outlook for the country. I'll be back again in 3 months to give you the summer outlook, and obviously I'll be back in a couple weeks to give you the March outlook for the entire country as well. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed the rest of winter this year, and yeah, I will see you later.